Welcome to Numb Bills Fan Podcast, episode number 217. I'm your host today, David Palermo, and in this podcast, I'm going to go over really me watching 3 entire playoff games and giving you my Super Bowl preview, because that's how bummed out I get when the Bills just absolutely suck. I just can't watch football anymore. So I went on a little binge this weekend and gelled out with my Game Pass that I got activated, yesterday. So here we go. Hope you enjoy. As always, tune into the podcast everywhere on Instagram, Twitter. I've been dead a little bit lately. Just actually sick today. Recorded some music with this band called Moment of Truth. And recorded in Lockport, New York, actually. So hopefully you enjoy this podcast and gonna get this rolling. All right, so number one, can you believe that the Bills pass up on Mahomes? Can we talk about that for a minute? I'll just talk to myself for a minute. The Bills pass on Mahomes, and I used to never be that guy. Oh, you can't talk. I used to be that guy all the time, especially during the Changalia era, the Duran years. Oh, we can't. Nah, man. No, you can't say that of course we draft JP fucking Lossman out of like one of the best draft classes ever. The Bills draft JP fucking Lossman. Right. Okay. I know. It's just how it goes. And my other beef with the Bills, since we're on the topic, is I'm giving Sean McDermott credit for finally hiring some young coaches. Holy shit. Like, dude, thank you. Young coaches, we'll get to that later on. Another episode. Have a guy coming on, Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's at Locked On now. I would hear him. He's from, I believe, the Draft Network, if I'm not mistaken. And what I like about him is I heard him on Chopin Bulldog. And as you know, I'm a fan. A lot of people want to put WGR under a blanket, and I think you got to be a complete fucking idiot, because that's like saying everybody has one vision, which is, oh, fuck the Bills. It's maybe they're hopeful and they've seen this movie too many times, and I'm finally there. I've seen this movie too many times. So what do the Bills do? They hire a quarterbacks coach from the fucking Panthers. He was there for 4 years, or I believe, I forgot how many years. I should really know what the hell I'm talking about, but I did just read this. So, another Carolina guy who was just with Appalachian State. I don't know. Just they hired their wide receivers coach, who was the offensive assistant, which the offense fucking sucked. Like, I don't know. It's like your biggest investment is Josh Allen, and people think I'm a negative asshole because they don't make any fucking moves. Like, the Bills are so lethargic. It's amazing. They're so lethargic. Everybody talks about Josh Allen this year and how he's turned a corner. Yeah, he did turn a corner. You know why I think he turned a corner? Because Derek Anderson showed up and showed him how to be a quarterback. I've been hammering the table all offseason. Support your quarterback. And what happens? He gets hurt twice because of his offensive line sucking. Let's be real. He gets hurt twice. Your franchise quarterback. And let me keep railing while I'm at it on my Super Bowl 53 fucking preview podcast here. Is on the real, it's just, I don't know. The Bills' defense is awesome. I love Leslie Frazier has done an outstanding job. Okay, but it's time to support your quarterback. And I don't know if Terry Robisky is he's now with the Jaguars, the former Bills wide receivers coach. They parted ways, okay? The coach they had before that was Zay Jones' coach from Forgot what fucking college he went to. I'm swearing a lot already. Clearly I'm pissed. I got the flu. Sorry, I'm a little more douchebaggery. And then, like I said, they hired Ken Dorsey, who was the quarterback's coach of Carolina from 2013 to 17. And I can't knock it. He's very qualified, okay? He's very, very qualified. I like that. I'm a fan of Cam Newton. Josh Allen is Cam Newton light in a way, or maybe just his own person, honestly. But, and then he spent a year at Appalachian State in helping out. He was on the staff. I don't know what the hell he did. And he was, in the league for 6 years as a quarterback in the NFL after winning a title at the University of Miami. So, and that's a national title. So I'm pretty stoked on Ken Dorsey in a way. I'm going to give him a fair shot. Okay. David Culley, thank God, former Bills quarterbacks coach. Finally, I got a tweet from Kevin Missouri like that. I can rejoice. Okay. And, yeah, he moved over to the Ravens. Look, I look at things systematically. What is the foundation? I also look at marketing. What are they trying to sell me? Okay, it's hard for me as somebody who takes money from people as a living, doing contracting, and I have to sniff people out to make sure they're not scumbags, to just buy this horse shit. So I'm gonna give Ken Dorsey, the Bills' new quarterbacks coach, some time here. And I'm pretty stoked on it. Okay? Another move the Bills made, actually, while I'm on this little Bills thing of news here, is I gotta say, Anthony Lynn, former Bills offensive coordinator and interim head coach for a second there, guess what he did? He got runner-up as coach of the year. And, watching these playoffs, I'm noticing the Rams' offensive line all year. They're putting up 30. They're averaging 32 points a game. Meanwhile, the Bills are ranked 31 in fucking points. Like, just everything you loved about Tyrod Taylor that I loved is what everybody loves about Josh Allen. But those two people can't be in the same room together because Tyrod just sucks. And I'll admit, after watching him with Cleveland, I'm like, oh, God. Like, dude, throw the ball. At the same time, he doesn't turn the ball over. And I really felt the Bills had a shot this year against the Patriots, believe it or not. And just what pisses me off is these teams are so close. They're so close that starting Nathan Peterman, I don't know about you, but I'm a competitor. I play hockey. I work hard. I fuck. I do shit. You know what I mean? Like, I do shit. That's it. I'm a fucking competitor. I don't want Andy Dalton. I don't want to get to the playoffs based on Andy Dalton's fucking pass on fourth down. That's not how I want to get there, but I'll take it. But apparently that's all a lot of you Bills fans needed was just, let's just get in there. Let's just get this monkey off our back. Cool. Great. Well, the Bills defense was pretty awesome and did not even really get tired. That was like the problem I had with Dick Jaranis. His offense was like the worst thing since McDermott. And their defense would just get tired. They just cave, But hey, football starts in the trenches. And that's it. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. Football starts in the trenches. And, the offensive line has sucked big time. And I don't know. I don't know, dude. It's just it starts there. The Bills hired a new guy in Ken Dorsey. They did not invest in their offensive line really at all last year of anything worth the salt. You got Bodine that they signed, and it's almost like Brandon Beane does not have a subscription to Pro Football Focus or, yeah, pretty much, he doesn't know that pretty much you know, that Bodine is like the worst ranked center, and you signed him. So, yeah. So check this out. Here's what I do like. My favorite hire right now is Bobby Johnson, leads the Colts. And he was the Colts assistant offensive line coach, okay? And the story is Dave oh my god, I can't say this name. Guglielmo. So Deguglielmo. All right, so check it. So Dave Guglielmo, who was fired as the offensive line coach, from the Colts. But what was weird about that is Frank Reich inherited him, after Josh McDaniels was hired on the Colts for a minute there. And he already hired some staff, so he kept him. So who knows if they saw eye to eye. But what I like about this guy, about Bobby Johnson, is he was an assistant under my favorite coach ever, Chan Gailey. That's a troll. But I do love Chan Gailey, okay? Don't even get me started on Chan Gailey. I'll rail here forever. He's a good man. Chan, you're always welcome to come on the podcast. Just saying, dude. So I like that Bobby Johnson was with that offensive line coach. And then Coach D'Alessandro, he must have worked with him, the Bills' former offensive line coach. And he ended up going to the Chargers and did a pretty good job, actually. So that was years back. So the Bills' offensive coaches are getting younger. All right, that's good. That said, wide receivers need to learn how to play the fucking position. I don't know if this offensive assistant dude, if you had an offense that was fire, or some of you people call dope, I could see this guy being awesome. But I don't consider this shit dope. So anyways, back to the Bills and not being in the Super Bowl. In my Super Bowl 53 preview here, 12 minutes and 32 seconds in. I will just get right to it. As far as my 3 playoff games I watched the Chargers and, Patriots. Phillip Rivers sucked dick. He really fucking sucked. And I swear to God to you, he was like the best quarterback I've ever seen at one Bills drive in the stadium. It's so impressive this year. So impressive. That said, he kind of just picked on Tremaine Edmonds and just kind of, seemed like he just threw like a drag right near him and yards after catch. I also think Phillip Rivers kind of caves in playoff games. I could be wrong. Another guy who I don't think plays super good in the big game is actually Tom Brady. I don't think he plays super well in the Super Bowl. I could be crazy. But what the Patriots did to the Chiefs was incredible. And for me, it was like the game plan that Bill Belichick had against the Bills in the Super Bowl when he was at the Giants as defensive coordinator. Patrick Mahomes did not have much opportunity. And if there's one thing that people forget about is they focus on Tom Brady, and that's great. Focus on Tom Brady, media, please, because the Patriots are going to run the ball down your fucking throat. The Patriots' offensive line, I wanted to watch these games and not watching the playoffs much. I'm kind of like, whatever. The Patriots are getting breaks. Typical. And honestly, I got to say, not really. There was that roughing the passer thing, and I must have missed it. I really must have missed it. On Brady. I must have left the room. I don't really know what happened. But I'll say what's interesting about the playoffs is everything changes. And can you believe the Bills pass on Pat Mahomes? Can you believe that? They could have had like a bunch of picks the next season still and have Pat Mahomes. But no, we're We're going to trust the process. You know, and then there's a report out there that the Bills are disputing the NFLPA on cap carryover space. Like, I don't think our GM knows what the hell he's doing. Like, really, I don't think they know. I think that there is no process at One Bills Drive. And everybody rips on me for that. They think it's funny. I think it's funny. I think the Bills have turned into, like, my biggest joke. Like, lately anyways. You know, and I'm very passionate. I want the fucking Bills to win championships. But I have to call it how it is. And I'm your fucking Buffalo Bills auditor. I'm your Buffalo Bills truth seeker. Okay? Aaron Quinn, love you, dog. I'm sure you're not listening to this, because why would you? Calling me out for even admitting that I might look into flat earth. Oh, I wouldn't admit this publicly. Don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck. Okay? I'm an open-minded critical thinker. Okay? NASA images are all photoshopped. Believe it. Look into it. Okay? So when I see that, it gives me that one emoji with the hand on the chin like, what's up with this, boss? You know? But anyways, the internet's a beautiful place. I love it, even though it's getting censored. But, you know, so what I was going to say is, you know, the Bills, they interviewed Joe Philbin to be the, you know, quarterback's coach, I believe. So I would have been down with that, honestly. So another thing in Bills land here, which really pissed me off, is there was this guy named Marvin Allen, okay? He has just been hired as a Dolphins assistant GM. Like, he is not in on all the Bills' plans, right? Oh, wait, no, but he was. So, what he did is he worked for the Patriots scouting department from 94 to 2000. And he was an area scout from 93 to 2008. I think I have this all wrong. Why are you putting two names? Okay, I'm sorry. He was an area scout from 93 to 2008. So this dude spent the past 2 seasons with the Bills, allegedly. And he had 4 seasons as a director of college scouting for the Chiefs. This dude just got hired by the Dolphins. And let me tell you, Bills fans, something. All right? Every year, I just talked to Adam Deacon about this. Every year, you idiots think that you're going to take 2 games from the Pats, from the Jets, and 2 games from the Dolphins, and you're going to split it with the Patriots. And you got to get fucking real. Because until the Bills beat those teams, I'm not buying it. Okay? There's so many dumb decisions this year that I don't know how so many people are just not pissed off. If you are, please, I want to hear from you. The Twitterverse of people I hear from are like 30. I feel like I'm in like the smallest little echo chamber on Twitter. Maybe I don't follow enough people. I don't know. It just seems like Homerland. Like, the Bills can't do no wrong. Sean McDermott's the best. Whatever. I like Sean McDermott. I don't hate anybody. Okay? I wish him the best. I'm sick of the coaching changes, too. Believe me. But I got to give credit where it's due, and it's Leslie Frazier. Sean McDermott doesn't get that credit. Is he good at scouting the secondary? Yes, dude, sure. Is he good at assembling, you know, what he wants and you know, there's something with the Bills that I can't piece together. I don't have sources yet, I should say. I also haven't worked on it to find out. You know, I should probably actually hit up people like John Worrell or some other people, try to get a hold of them behind the scenes and see, like, what is the Bills' funk? Because, you know, when Russ Brandon gets fired and it's for inappropriate relations, meaning he was fucking somebody, that tells me it's, you know, they're human beings. And if there's one thing that Sean McDermott's done is it's instilled a great work ethic, okay? The Bills seem like they have a good attitude. They're focused. That's what I liked about Shane Gailey. He was a faith-based man. I am not a faith-based man. I go down the rabbit hole of the Anunnaki and that type stuff lately. I love podcasts. They're so great. So for me, I like the work ethic that he's instilled here in Buffalo. But what's hard for me is there's guys that never saw a down of football. And Reggie Ragland, yes, he was a tweener. He didn't really fit McDermott's defense. And honestly, in hindsight, I got to roll McD on this one. They were right. Their foresight on Marcel Darius seemed decent. You know, he, I believe, ranked higher than Salatulele. And, you know, Sammy Watkins had some big plays in the game. That said, Sammy Watkins, it's still kind of, that's how Aaron Quinn actually got started on Twitter, was Sammy Watkins is definitely a free thinker, okay? He's got some deep thoughts. Great follow on Twitter. I really like him. But he's just kind of, honestly, I think he might smoke too much weed. He's got a couple brain farts when I'm watching the Chiefs. And Pat Mahomes, holy shit, dude. Like, can you believe Pat Mahomes, the Bills passed on Pat Mahomes? Can you believe that? Crazy, right? So, Pat Mahomes is so good. That said, Brady looked awesome. So to my Super Bowl preview, the Rams and the Saints. My take, this is crazy. My take on the Rams, Saints, Nicole Roby Coleman, former Bill, who didn't see it down under McDermott, who's only 26 years old. He was cut, signed to a very affordable extension. You know, you're starting nickel cornerback for a couple of years under Doug Marrone, played at USC, undrafted free agent, really fucking cheap. Played under Rex for 2 years, good football player, very good football player. Robert Woods, you know, I understand he wasn't worth it to the Bills, $10 million a year to pay him to stay. That said, why wouldn't you want to go back home to LA? He went to USC as well. You know, Sammy Watkins is what it is. You know what I mean? I like Tremaine Edmonds. I like Josh Allen. That's what I'm taking from last year. Last year was a wash. Being a season ticket holder, yeah, maybe it's not something to cry about, but for me, finances have been tight. And I don't want to give up my seats. I like where I sit. I don't want to just meet new fucking people. I have attachment issues. And that's it. I love going to the game with my friends and throwing Dean's beers out the window. That's fun. So, you know, I just want to have a good time. And I want to buy into the process. It's just the process needs to, you know, show me something here. Show me some fruition. Credit to McDermott for finally getting rid of some old guys. But like Mike Shope has said, if you like Bill Parcells, you're that guy. You love McDermott. He's a young Parcells. He's that old guy, but young as fuck. Not even young. He's like in his 40s. So younger. Okay, and then you got Sean McVay, 33. I'm like, holy shit. And he's a coach of the Rams with my dude Wade Phillips, whose defense is not really ranked that good as much as I've been preaching about him. Ranked 19th. But football starts in the trenches, and a coach that the Bills should have retained was Aaron Kromer, the offensive line coach. He is with the LA Rams, and I'm going to preach that to you forever and ever. Hiccups, sorry. What that means to me, football starts in the trenches. Aaron Kromer was the Bills' offensive line coach for 2 years under Rex Ryan with Anthony Lynn. He was also the offensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears with Trestman, who is a very good offensive mind, honestly. Freaking hiccups. I'm sorry, this is awful audio, but I'm not stopping it. I'm going to have to deal with it. And the Bills had a number one run game for 2 years, okay? the offensive line played great. And the next year, under Juan Castillo, I've gone over this a million times, Eric Wood, and Incognito, 2 Pro Bowlers the last year of Rex Ryan, it went downhill drastically. And this guy retained his job. I understand he was Andy Reid's offensive line coach for like 13 years in Philly, something crazy like that, Deacon was telling me. All right, so I guess it's not a bad hire. Like I wouldn't be able to sneeze at that. It's just the league has changed so much. I was a huge Donovan McNabb fan in Syracuse, and I trusted Andy Reid with him. I liked the evolution of Donovan McNabb as a player in Philly. I don't want to talk about his Washington year. I don't know if it was years. But I got to say, as far as playoff football is concerned here, I know I'm all over the place. It's a young man's game. If there's one thing I give Bill Belichick credit about is you wouldn't know he's an old dude ever. Okay? He's such a cutting edge mind. I fucking hate the Patriots, okay? But I appreciate the Patriots. And I got to say, I didn't see much holding from their offensive line that wasn't getting called, like on Jerry Hughes every game. Brady got rid of the ball fast, and they run the ball really well. And if there's one thing you can do to the Rams is run on that team. If you look at Alvin Kamara, he had a very good game against the Patriots, okay? Against the Rams, I'm sorry. And it's like, Alvin Kamara is weird. There's like a play in the fourth quarter where you just know he's going to leak out somehow. And he stays in for pass pro. Drew Brees gets in a little bit of trouble. Rose to his right. Kamara sneaks out to his left and damages the Rams. If there's one thing the Patriots do better than anybody ever in the history of football, it's yards after catch football. And then once you start biting down, they're going to go deeper with you. Robert Gronkowski, incredible year blocking this year. Got to give him credit. Do I think he's a mongoloid? Sure. Would I hang out with him and party with him? You bet. Do I like his hit on Trey White? No. I kind of hope that behind the scenes he gets dealt with. But, you know, it is what it is. So, the Saints, my take on the Saints Roby Coleman thing, which I never got to, is I don't think that ball was catchable. That said, Roby Coleman just needs a turn and he gets a pick. So he definitely admits to fucking that dude up. Drew Brees got the ball and he threw a fucking interception. While he was getting hit, you know? And as a Bills fan, this is a Bills perspective of Super Bowl 53. If it's a Bills quarterback, what's cool about the playoffs is you get to see these quarterbacks that are the best make bad errant throws. That when you're watching every Bills throw under a microscope, you're like, that sucked. Unless you're like a Josh Allen lover, he can't do wrong. And he runs the ball better than the rest of the fucking team. He had more yards from scrimmage than the fucking running back running the ball. Like, it's crazy. And you guys are stoked. So many people are stoked on that he can't play the quarterback position. That said, I think he can. I think his last game was his best game. It was a great game to be at. I had a blast. Okay? I'm fucking stoked on Josh Allen. Okay? I love people that have his attitude. He's a ball buster. He's my kind of dude. He doesn't take shit too serious. He's able to laugh at a lot of things. He's confident in himself. And, I was very critical about it, him being picked, because I did not want him to come to Buffalo. And why is that? Because of what happened this year. The Bills do not know how to support their quarterback. Okay? They pretty much ignore it. Honestly. They got McKenzie off waivers because they suck so fucking bad. You know what I'm saying? They got first waiver priority, I believe, on that. Same with Jordan Phillips, who played better than Star Lotulelei, I believe. Okay, for free, off waivers. And honestly, I don't know if Harrison Phillips is the answer at defensive tackle. But I will bet you the Bills take one early in the draft this year, okay? Speaking of the Super Bowl, ever looking at Aaron Donald's stats? Like 20 and a half sacks? Are you fucking serious? That's crazy. Especially from that position inside. That is nuts. That is nuts. Sue, I believe, only has 5 all year, but like 19 hits. And then Aaron Donald, Defensive Player of the Year. Can you believe the Bills pass on Pat Mahomes MVP? They could have just had him fall to them. The Bills passed on Mahomes. Did you know that? Yeah. So, what's interesting about Mahomes is I did not think the Bills would draft Josh Allen because they had like a very, very similar, if I'm not mistaken. If I am mistaken, hit me up. They had a very similar, draft prospect, if that makes sense. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Draft profile? Pre-draft profile? Is that what I'm looking for here? Where Mahomes, same problems Josh Allen had, in college. But Mahomes did a lot in college. And you didn't have to give up 1 million picks to get him. He would have fell to you. I can't tell you how many times defensive backs get picked in the second round or later and they're fine. Darby was on the team. He didn't even get to see it down with McDermott. He's just not our corner. Well, you proved me right because your defense is awesome. So I can't bitch anymore. Your foresight on Darius seemed to be okay. You cleared the cap. Great. But you got 10 picks, Bills, and a lot of cap space. But who the fuck is coming to Buffalo? Okay, anybody who knows football knows that the process in Buffalo fucking sucks. Like, seriously. Get off your little high horse that the Bills are awesome right now. They're not. They're fucking shitty. It's incredible the Bills passed on Mahomes. I can't believe it. So what I think is going to happen here is I think Josh Allen's going to keep getting better. Your offensive line can't get worse. It really can't. Okay? The Bills need to invest in their offensive line big time. I would like to see the center, forgot his name, from the Broncos come along. Come to the Bills. If the Bills can open up their wallet. Open up your fucking wallet. You got all this cap space, you got to spend it. Okay? I don't think the Bills need to move on from anybody. I think everything's cool. I'm stoked on probably my favorite player of the year, Lorenzo Alexander, just because I like the old vets. I like a guy who transcends coaching schemes and positions. So, and he's the ambassador that Sean McDermott needs. So, again, I'm on board with McD. Brandon Beane, I don't know. I like the work ethic of the Bills more than ever. I really do. It's just when your offensive coaches suck, there needs to be accountability. There needs to be swift action. And the Bills have just been lethargic. Almost like they wanted to tank or something, which I don't know why. Because I want to get back to the playoffs, and in the middle of the year when everybody's 7-6, and I'm looking at the Bills getting blown out by starting fucking Peterman. Like, come on here. And then you watch playoff football, and you see Drew Brees throwing bad throws. Everybody wants to talk about Roby and the interference and whatever. There were so many plays after that. Okay? And, what if Robert Woods doesn't slip and fall and ends up in the end zone? You know what I mean? It's just, and then he was wide open on the play after that, and Goff couldn't get on the rocks. So they had to settle for a field goal. Like, what about that? I understand it's a blown call, but Saints fans, let me put on the damn fucking Vikings Favre game. There was like 3 very controversial calls that all went the Saints' way. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, a bullshit pass interference, a forward progress that was not forward progress, and Favre just kept getting fucked up after the whistle. Like, yeah, stop. One interference call. You have way too high-powered of an offense to not do any damage against a 19th ranked defense. That said, I think Tom Brady's going to fucking shred the Rams. And I think Jared Goff is not going to be on the field much. The Patriots are going to run the ball a lot. They run the ball very well. They're very effective. You want to focus on Tom Brady, but you're going to forget 2nd and 10. They're going to run the ball. They're going to pick up 4 yards. They're going to get a 3rd and manageable. This is how it is. And again, I can't tell you how many times we've seen, it's funny seeing Bill Belichick throw his tablet after a pick play, that the Chiefs had. And it's like, dude, you fucking invented the pick play, man. So they took 3 guys and picked 2 guys out? Good. Fuck you, Bill. You're mad that they're using your tricks? What, you don't have 2 tight ends in there? Like, how many times does Gronkowski literally just run down the field and just push people out of the way? So that's it. It's funny. Football's funny. Sports are funny. I'm an emotional mess in hockey. It's great. I love sports for that reason. I'm very impressed with Jared Goff, even though he didn't have that much of a game this playoffs. Against the Saints. But, C.J. Anderson, dude, I actually drafted him in fantasy leagues. So I was like, there's no way he's going to not get touches. The Carolina Panthers signed him, but really, I mean, their dude over there, I forgot his name. Sorry. Their running back was just incredible. Just kind of really was no room. Then he got no snaps, C.J. Anderson, on the Raiders. And, Todd Gurley, hey, man, this is what team is about, and everybody wants to make something out of, man, dude, Todd, doesn't it suck that, like, you didn't get the ball much or you're on the sidelines? Like, nah, man, he's a competitor. He wants to win. We all want to play. But, there's going to be games where you need the rest of your team to lift you up. And C.J. Anderson could be the reason that the Rams are in the Super Bowl. It's exactly what they needed. And I don't think the Saints got jobbed too hard. I don't think that ball was nearly catchable. Granted, he didn't have a chance to catch it because he was fucking blown up. So there's that. But I didn't think the ball was too catchable, honestly. A lot of... I kind of look at, like, the throws that are off, especially from Phillip Rivers. And I looked at it like, if Bill's quarterbacks have these throws, he's inaccurate, he's whatever, he's crappy. I can't tell you how many times I saw Tyrod Taylor throw a bomb to Sammy Watkins. He had the best deep ball ever. McDermott comes in, they don't even throw it. They know better. I'm sick of coaches coming into town and not watching the tape. It's got to be the truth. What scheme do your players flourish in here? Okay, who are your all-stars? Who are your top playmakers? It is what it is. You're going to have change, but I want to retain going to the playoffs. I don't want to go in once and not go. The way the offensive staff is stacking up, the offensive line should be better. That should give Josh Allen a little bit more leeway to read defenses, at least. I mean, McCoy all of a sudden just dies in football. Oh, he's 30. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Guys just forget how to play football. Meanwhile, MMA guys, they're peaking in their 30s. What are you talking about? I don't buy it, okay? I blame coaches more than anything. Remember Ray Rice, the fucking douchebag that beat his fucking girl in the elevator? Well, I believe his last year there, maybe the year before too, Juan Castillo from the Bills, Bills offensive line coach, was the I believe the offensive coordinator of the Ravens for 4 years. And Ray Rice went downhill. And I remember Ray Rice's stats specifically because in a draft, I had a choice between him and LaShawn McCoy, and I was in a league as a partner. It's a big money league, and I was kind of like, well, big money is like perspective, $185, I think. Okay, it's not really that big money, but I mean, to me, it's big money. We didn't take McCoy because my dude was a Giants fan, and he couldn't root for him. So we took Ray Rice. These guys have foresight on how bad they are. Why would you hire them? Get some young minds. There's a million colleges out there. The way of football is spread offenses, running from a spread, fucking just Chan Gailey's offense would still hold up today. It did. He proved it on the Jets. You know what I mean? And the Bills have just done typical things, the big guys in there. And that's what I like about watching the Patriots and the Rams. That the Rams' fake punt was so cool to me. That was so cool to me. Show me a Bills team that would do that. Any team. And the one coach that gets retained is Danny Crossman, the worst fucking special teams coach Buffalo seems to ever have. And he gets relieved of his duty after 2 years with McDermott. I don't see the Bills in this conversation for Super Bowl any fucking time. And it's been really, as you can tell from my tone lately, it's been hard to cover the team myself. It's a charity event for myself. And I just feel like I sit here talking to people like, oh, cool. Let's buy into nothing. So I can't sell you horse shit. But what I will tell you is I hope the Rams stomp the shit out of the Patriots. Okay? But I think the Patriots might have this one. Honestly. Bill Belichick is too smart. I see that Giants game plan executed against Pat Mahomes. The Patriots were on the field a long time. They run the ball well. So, you can't hit Tom Brady. He gets rid of the ball too quick. You can't drop everybody into zones. He'll pick you apart. Not trying to blow Tom Brady, but just saying, Aaron Donald and Sue, you better get to this man and fuck his life up. That's it. You got to hit this dude. Once you rattle Tom Brady, you're good. You got to get to him. There's got to be a bounty on Tom Brady, pretty much. All right, the receivers that, man, Edelman, I want to hate him, but he's so tough. Hogan, nice one-handed grab, and he shows up sometimes when you need him. As far as the Rams, dude, they're loaded. Cooks is incredible. I love me some Robert Woods. Always love Robert Woods. I think you can do a lot with C.J. Anderson. I think you can do a lot with Todd Gurley. They're not going to have the crowd noise, the Rams. So that's what kind of makes me wonder. The crowd noise, for the record, if anybody watched that Saints-Rams game, holy shit, was that the most annoying crowd I've ever heard. I was like, are those fake whistles? Like, that's legal? And the Saints kind of being like, I don't know. I kind of root on the Saints a little bit more for NFC teams. I really love Drew Brees. I think he's an awesome quarterback. He's fun as fuck. Sean Payton's offenses, I never get bored watching him. The Saints games are always just fun. They're just fun games to watch. That's probably my fun factor. Probably one of my funnest teams to watch. So I can always get down with the Saints. Except for the Vikings game. I will always be pissed about that. So, the Rams, Patriots, it seems like the Super Bowl that if you're an NFL exec, you want this one. You know what I mean? LA market, yada, 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 yada. So, for me, I don't have a scoring prediction, but unless the Rams don't have the crowd noise, so it makes me wonder if Jared Goff will be able to make some adjustments a lot easier. And maybe things can happen for the Rams points-wise. I mean, again, 32.5, I think, points average all year, at least 32. If you looked at their scores, it's incredible how many points they put up. And again, last I checked, it takes points to win. I'll say I think the Bills might be able to pick up somebody decent. I have not gone over the free agent list. But what makes a good GM is having the personnel in place underneath him where you could find out what you have in place for your staff on offense. Like, what system are you running? Can you marry players to the system? Because you can get guys off the street at this time of year when free agency hits where you don't got to go out and spend a bunch of money. You don't. But the Bills need to shore up that offensive line, and center, not having Eric Wood was huge. Center is the most important position on that line. Hands down. Obviously, they make all the checks. They do whatever. We've been spoiled with Eric Wood. Okay? And then I just spilled tea all over myself because I'm a fucking 5-year-old. And it's the second time I've done that today on my Jordan jumpsuit. Really stoked right now. That said, this podcast is over. I hope the Rams win. It'll be nice. Fun fact, I did not watch the first Rams Patriots Super Bowl thing there. I was actually caught up in a blizzard with my friend Zach Riesenberg at the time. And we went to Durand-Eastman Park in Rochester, and I think we set up a sled and set up a jump at the bottom of the hill. I think hole number 7, something like that. Whatever one goes down a big hill to tee off on. And it would be nice to watch a Super Bowl and have the Rams just fucking ruin Tom Brady. But it depends who the refs are. Hate to say it. The refs have been awful. The NFL does not want to do anything about it. I think it brings them ratings to have bad refs. I think it brings controversy. I mean, I don't know. We've seen so many blown calls in Buffalo. It's just like, how many Nicole Roby incidents have the Bill, in the Saints game have the Bills had? And nothing gets talked about. It's just, the Bills suck. Oh, okay. Because I remember 2 bad calls of Tyrod Taylor against the Giants. One call in incognito for like a phantom clip that did not happen. And then a phantom hold on, I think, incognito as well. And these freaking refs get a boner for players like Jerry Hughes and incognito. And they got to do what they got to do. They don't have a life. And they have power. And power is a scary thing. So maybe one day the whole league will smoke weed or accept that weed's pretty dope. And they'll all smoke weed and chill the fuck out. And, realize that your refs are full of shit and everything should be reviewable. I have a new rule. Why don't you review everything within 1 yard of the goal line? Because I think the one Rams player was in for a touchdown. I thought he crossed. Should have been under review. That said, thank you for listening to my Bills perspective here. Thank you to the loyal followers of this podcast. I've been super busy personally. Just really trying to focus on one thing at a time. And honestly, the way the Bills season has went, it's made it very tough, like I said earlier, to even bother doing this. That said, as always, I'm here. It's just what I mean by bother doing this is playing music again. And I'm playing drums in some project. And I'm doing guitar in a project called Moment of Truth, which is an old hardcore band from 1992. And they drew mad people in Rochester back in the day. So I get to work with the rhythm section of Pat and Jim that's been together for fucking years. And, they've been friends for 31 years. So it's really cool to play guitar with them and help them write some songs. And then my main man, Jason Zeller, if anybody knows him, he's a sergeant major. So anybody who wants to listen to this podcast thinking I don't support the military, I do. Hence why I don't support promoting war at the NFL games. I don't support tax dollars and flyovers. I don't support any of that shit. You should not have to promote for us to lose our loved ones and our friends and our best friends. And it's sick. It's sickening. It's the military-industrial complex. Look into Eisenhower. Do your homework. And anybody who's tried to stop it has pretty much been assassinated, you know. So that's where I stand with all that stuff. Sergeant Major Zeller, okay, good dude, fucking awesome guy. And I got the track with the guy here, Nathan. He lives in Colorado, original Moment of Truth guitar player with another guitar player great from Rochester, Eric Burke. He plays in Sulaco, Nuclear Assault, Brutal Truth. He's played with Napalm Death. So for me, you know, I love music first and foremost, and to be able to be on recordings with all those fine people, it's incredible. Had a great time recording at Watchman Studios in Buffalo. Haven't tracked with Doug White since the first time I tracked music ever in my life with Dawn of War, which Drunk Dean was in that band. And on drums, it was his band, their band. I joined it. What else is new? So yeah, that's what I've been up to. I just been really trying to focus on my guitar stuff, and I just don't want to talk shit about the Bills if I'm not passionate about what I'm going to talk about, because there's nothing really good to talk about. You know, that said, I have a lot of subjects and a lot of topics that I can't wait to dive into. Expect a podcast just on Lorenzo Alexander, a podcast just on Josh Allen, just on Tremaine Edmonds, 3 out the gate. And a podcast just on the coaches that have been hired, and a podcast on the 2018 year in review. Might have a roundtable that we did for the draft. Mike Smith, Jeff Knight, Drunk Dean, and me, along with Adam Deacon producing it. Video, probably. And I got plans. I got a little green screen set up in the basement, and I started actually working on my basement to set up my sound stage that I want to build. I've been working on it. So I plan on focusing more on the video side. Might have a couple people, special guests, do their own podcasts on the feed. That to be announced. So the growth hasn't stopped. I've just kind of taken like a month off of this. So as always, go Bills. I'm in it for fucking championships, and that's it. So if you ain't winning, you're fucking sucking. That's it. So go Bills, and thanks for following along. I'm your host, David Palermo, and I'm going to spill more fucking tea on myself. And I swore more times than Scarface in this episode. Don't fucking care. As always, Numb Bills fan everywhere. I'm your host, David Palermo, for the 8th time. Take care.